in for a topsy-turvy race here at the wonderful, legendary Le Mans circuit. Welcome to what is going to be chaos on two wheels. The race has been declared dry, however there is a high chance of rain coming in. Welcome to Moto3. Let's cross down then to the world feed and TNT Sports.
This could be the track where he gets a win.
I mean, how good is that lad? Unbelievable. He came in America. He was too young to come before America. He came in America and straight away was on the front row. Broke his hand, missed some races. He's back here, so he's still a little bit injured, and he's putting the bike in pole position. Unbelievable talent. Makes it look easy as well. Great style. Well, clearly a star of the future.
There's only been Rueda and Piqueras so far who have got wins. Who's going to win this one?
I'm going to go Quiles from pole position. I think a bit of a surprise as a rookie, but he could deliver today, given the speed he's had this weekend.
Quickly, Sylvain?
For me, it'd be Joe Kelso.
Oh, OK, mixed over here. Gab and Neil, what do you think? Moto3 coming your way?
Absolutely, it is going to be wild, isn't it? A rocky 1 and 2 on the grid, rain overnight, skies that refuse to settle. It's Moto3 time at Le Mans, and as always, it's unpredictable. Rookie Max Quiles starts from pole in just his second race.
Welcome to France. Let's go through the grid with Gavin Emmett.
Race on the Grand Prix of France card. The Bugatti circuit has made heroes over the years, and maybe a star has been born here. Rookie Max Quiles on pole in just his second Grand Prix. In the other, he was on the front row. Remarkable, really. He's got fellow newcomer Guido Pini right alongside him, with Kelso on the inside up to turn 1 behind. What an exciting / scary row 2 we've got. The chicane will be interesting on lap 1 with Piqueras, Fernandez and Munoz. 30 championship leader as well on row 3 in 8th place. He hasn't looked that comfortable this weekend, Jose Antonio Rueda. What's he got when we go racing? There's Scott Ogden down on the 6th row of the grid alongside Jacob Ralston, with Kiwi Cormac Buchanan just behind. Eddie O'Shea bringing up the rear. Had a tough weekend, actually. A couple of unfortunate crashes at inopportune moments at the start of sessions, which have really cost him. Neil, it rained overnight. The track was wet this morning. The sky's still looking a bit broody, aren't they? I know we're going to get elbows out, last lap lunges, but I'm sort of worried about this corner on lap 1.
Yeah, lap 1, this corner is always tricky. It is
even on
cold.
a warm lap.
Yeah, even on a warm lap, you have to be really, really careful. It's cold out there. We know the left-hand side of the tyre around here doesn't get a proper working, so you can lose a bit of temperature. So that first sector, turn 3 is going to be really, really tricky. You can see the patches. These opening laps are going to be a bit scary. The problem is when you're in the group and you're battling, you can't see where the patches are. So yeah, let's hope they all get around the first couple of laps.
This is where Joel told Nat on the grid to watch out, particularly Museum Corner, and it's such a tricky one downhill into there, long hanging corner.
Yeah, loads of crashes this weekend, people losing the front, so there's that, and that last sector, the last corner, we saw in the Red Bull rookie race this morning, lots of crashes there. I'd say that's the slippiest corner on the track.
Through Garage Fair, got to avoid the white lines, the curbs as well, and it's so important at Le Mans to open up the racetrack as much as possible.
Yeah, it's narrow. It is narrow, so you have to use the curbs. You can't see the damp patches on the curbs. It's a risk. There's even places like through this part of the track, we're going to turn left, but then as you turn right, you take quite a lot of curb. You can't quite see from that angle. So, yeah, really tricky. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say, I've made me laugh, you mentioned it, but looking at that second row, gives me nightmares. Piqueras, unbelievably aggressive. Fernandez, then David Munoz. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting first couple of corners. Obviously, Piqueras and Rueda have dished out the victories between themselves this year. Do you see a first-time winner here? Maybe even a maiden winner for someone like Quiles or Pini? Absolutely, first chance, first real opportunity. Quiles is a special talent, like you say. Second GB sits on pole, nothing to lose. He's going to...
Here we go then. Time to see if that really is going to be the factor here. It is going to be Moto3 like you've never seen it before. Chance of a red flag is high. Maximo Quiles on pole position, just his second ever race. Guido Pini and Joel Kelso alongside Piqueras, Fernandez, Munoz, row 2. Green flag will be at the back. Eyes will be to the lights. The Moto3 French Grand Prix is under starters orders. Lights out at Le Mans, and it's a good start from Quiles with the 36 coming through as well on the outside line of Vaqueras. Can he get the run into turn one? Not entirely sure it's going to be possible. Kelso slotting back in to second position as we head into the chicane for the first time. Is everyone going to get through cleanly here? A very damp track on slick tyres. A few of them running wide, avoiding the curbs. But yes, the Moto3 boys have been very sensible. Out of the chicane then, down to La Chapelle for the first time. This is where we had high sides a couple of years ago with damp tracks and oil down. A few dropping positions, but nothing bad. Right, into Museum Corner then, as it is Quiles and Kelso, Vaqueras, Prix, Munoz, as they all come through, darting out for positions as we come on the inside line then, down at Museum Corner. But it's a clean start then from everybody. That's exactly what we needed to do, as again, Vaqueras trying to go around the outside of Kelso into the braking zone. Under braking, Munoz going to the inside line, getting ahead of as well Pini. And a clean start from everybody. Well done, Moto3. Well done. Up we go once again then. Quiles under attack by Kelso, who's looking to the inside line, to the S-Blue chicane. Not going to find a way through there, unfortunately, but I think everyone looks okay. So, it's Quiles, Kelso, Vaqueras, Munoz, Pini, Forasato, Ruda, then Peroni, Almanza, Adrian Fernandez runs at the top 10, and Kelso's taken the lead of the race. Kelso dives up the inside of Quiles, down at the S-Blue second corner and takes it. We've got, Dennis, what's happened to Dennis Foggia? He's dropped all the way back from his starting position. Terrible start from him. He's taking a look then at said levels. Yeah, so Kelso up 2, Fursato's up 5, Lanetta up 5. So is Bookman as well, but Dennis Foggia down 3 places. Caro down 7 places as they come into the braking zone then as well. Let's take a look at your grid positions on the monitor up here in the commentary box for you all to see. Kelso still attacking with Quiles in second position as well. And no, I've got no idea why the timing tower on this PC is black either. It's not usually. Ricardo Rossi getting his long lap penalty confirmed by the stewards then as well as they come out of La Chapelle, and they're still running down. Yamanaka's out of the race. Yamanaka is out. He's crashed out of this race, and there he is. He's in the gravel trap. He's immediately up and trying to restart the bike, but I'm sorry, Rookie, the rear is destroyed. You are not going to get that motorcycle running. So, Vaqueras has taken second position. Munoz to third. And then, Maximo Quiles is just his second. He's dropped down into sixth position now. So he's down 5 places from where he started. Local yellow flags around at the moment. There's no need to stop the race. Track conditions, cloudy, 17 degrees air temperature. Track temperature at 18 degrees, so not too bad. As they now come into the S-Blues once more. There's Raider getting on the inside of Quiles now as well for 6th position. I don't know if that's going to be a bad start or a good start, to be fair. It's a bit here, there and everywhere. Why am I seeing double? There we go. Sorry about that. Yellow flag, as you can see, in said sector. Fast lap from Kelso, now Vaqueras. 2/10 of faster is Vaqueras, then Kelso on his run as well, so that'll give you a little bit of an advantage into the braking zone now. We're watching Pini, who's looking on the inside line of Munoz. I'm not going to go through there, I'm afraid. Rossi and Yamanaka drop back a couple of places as well, as you drop down through La Chapelle. Lap 3 of 20. Almanza is up into 9th position. Let's check him.
Must be a bit of a breeze out there as
Yamanaka, you're done, mate.
Yeah.
That scrap. You're like, oh, it's going to be a high side, is it? Or is it? Oh, no.
Got kicked out.
Unlucky.
Perez on the inside.
I've got to say, racing incident, really, because it's difficult to see on the outside. You're leaning on to the inside. And it was only a slight touch. It wasn't a silly lunge. I'd like to think that nothing will come of that.
It's under investigation by the stewards.
This is a tricky part of the racetrack garage fair where you saw that long lap loop on the outside. As Neil mentioned, downhill, off camber, double apex. And they've all got through safely for now, but it's the early stages of this race. I feel like it's a powder keg down there, ready to go off at any moment if someone gets a taste for it. Kelso just stretching them, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, we know he has had a really good pace all weekend. But he's having a great season. He sits third in the championship, a couple of podium finishes, third last time out, and he's made a huge step forward this year.
Just saw the two Leopard teammates come together again. They've got form. Already crashed out together once this year, although that wasn't didn't help each other on that occasion. It was just a synchronised crash. But already Fernandez back in front of David Almanza. Here comes Munoz. Of course he does. Oh, I thought he was going to slide through up at turn one. It's got Munoz written all over it as that corner.
Don't know, every time they tip into turn 3, it must be the conditions. There's been no really brave moves into there at this point.
The lap times are, well, it's 2 seconds off, 1.5 seconds off the lap record, and they have set lap records this weekend. Kelso was the first, down into a 39, a 1 minute 39 around here. And then Keeler's obviously stopped the clock for 39.9 in practice, but Kelso was even quicker in free practice. That's remarkable, but they're racing in 42 highs at the moment.
Yeah, quite a way off the pace. Say no one's taking any major risks at this point.
Stewart's no further action.
No, that's absolutely the right decision. Yeah, at this point, you're just clicking off the laps if you're in that leading group, not trying to take too much risk. You don't want to drop too far back. I think if you're Keyless, that's to be pretty slightly uncomfortable back in 7th place. I want to be maybe trying to get myself back inside the top 4. Just in case there's a bit of a breakaway.
Yeah, and Moreira's sat there comfortably, isn't he, in 6th spot at the moment. I think Munoz would be the one who'd like to lead this. That has David Munoz written all over it, doesn't it?
It's funny, though, with Munoz. He's not a rider who's led many laps. If you think in his career, he's always in the fight. He's not won a race yet. And he spends most of his weekends following people. So if he does get to the lead, it'll be interesting to see what his lap times look like.
It's for Sato.
Yeah, Moreira just passed. It's got up the inside of him into the...
Kelso leading.
Fastest rider on circuit, though, is Adrian Fernandez. Now, before qualifying, I know he was on the second row, but for me, Fernandez was the one who looked like this weekend, the one who's got consistently fast pace.
Yeah, he didn't get a good start, did it? Keyless has started to push a bit now. Practice for Sato.
Yeah, we spoke to Elan from his team, how much temperature can be lost really quickly in these tyres. So you just have to respect them, don't you, early on? And I feel like everyone's been given that information. Just take your time.
They've all had the warnings off the team managers.
Feel your way into this race.
Yeah, it's not started how I thought it would do. I thought it would be argy-bargy from the first corners, but like I said, it's been relatively calm. But I think a lot of that's come down to Kelso. He's running a decent pace in these tricky conditions.
Yeah, it's keeping them all bunched together. We have seen so many group races here over the years. It's a track that lends itself to that kind of race. Chances of little slipstreams here down towards the Shimano Berth S's.
Yeah, you can see they're not using the curb. Normally you use curb here. They cut the curb. No, keep him well away from it. It's the right thing to do.
Okay on exit, aren't they? They
exactly.
run up there,
you're more upright on exit, but to use it on the maximum lean is much more risk.
Makes more sense just to back off and not let anyone else touch
the blue S's up towards the double apex of the Raccordo. This is where Sylvain was saying earlier, they can see where the track rejoins from the 24-hour car circuit and just grinds away a little bit on that asphalt there. So can be a bit slick. The pace is starting to get quicker now into the 41s for the first time for Munoz and for Rueda.
Yeah, you used to get it at Brands Hatch quite a lot, where the car's G'd out and a little bit of alley from underneath the car would sort of like damage the tarmac and make it super slick.
That was deep there, wasn't it, from Joel Kelso?
Yeah, that time looking at what it's done, it's sort of like got the group all together. You can just sort of feel, Pini. Right, it's going to start now, the race. I can feel like...
The Velcro's just being loosened on the clubs, isn't it, slightly?
Literally that. We know Guido Pini, who we're looking at now in second place, the rookie, qualified second. We've watched him through the junior ranks, and there's one thing that we know about that young man. He's brave, he's not shy, he'll stick it up the inside. He's one of those riders when you say he doesn't mind a crash, he crashes quite a bit.
I think Adrian Fernandez saw that as well, and he made a move on Keyless up to Museum Corner as well, as if he got a sniff of it as well. Right, we come out of the garage for double apex. Ticking off thick and fast here. We are on our 6th lap of 20, quarter of the way through the race. And still Joel Kelso, who's led from the first lap, leading the charge. But you do feel like he's just bubbling under, simmering at the moment.
All saving the tyres in these damp conditions.
For Kelso. Just got a bit of a gap. All he needs now, Kelso, is the two teammates behind him to do something silly.
You feel
and
like
all of a sudden he'll have a second gap. It's going to be one. It could be one of those situations.
You feel like they've got it in them, don't you? The two Dynavolt Intact GT riders. Out of the final corner then. Still, Kelso leads. Further down the order, Alvaro Carpe just set the fastest lap. Brosato's now down to 10th. Scott Ogden in 14th. Then a Cormac Buchanan who are rounding out the point scoring positions. But it's one group really, all the way down to Bunter in 18th as David Mignon lunges through at his teammate.
Wide again, really wide. And look
Oh,
how
it's all
everyone is going to get past.
up.
He is.
This is not going to be good. Down to the braking zone into La Chapelle. To the inside, Pini takes the lead. Kelso staying in second. Ruda battling now for third place with David Munoz, and he gets back ahead as well. Here comes Piqueras now, second in the championship, all fighting out. All of a sudden on lap 7, it's like the racing's come alive. They all know what they want to do. They all know how they need to go about doing it. Kelso leads this race then as things stand. Down into Garage Vier. Carpe's dropped down with 3 wide into the braking zone. That's not going to be good if it's not careful. So we've got Munoz, Fernandez, Quaylas, Piqueras, Almanza, all in a slipstream run here. Into the braking zone then. Kelso holding on. 64 going on the inside. Yellow flags out. Someone's crashed. Don't know who. It just says crashed out. Well, who was down in that third set? It's Eddie O'Shea.
Tough weekend for Eddie.
And it is in Garage Vert, and you can see the way he's standing, holding his head. He knows he was there, he was...
Yeah, Eddie O'Shea out of the race then. Where was he running before that crash in Garage Vier? Eddie was only in 24th position before that crash. We tell on the intermediate times that we have up here in the commentary box alongside our normal live timing offering as well. So that yellow flag stays out in third sector. He's going to have a look on the inside line, down into the chicane, take the lead of the race, backs out of it. No one wants to go just yet. It all sort of concertinaed up a few moments ago. But Warida now we're riding with. Fancy second position. He's trying to unnerve Guido Pini. Pini's going for it now. A lot of acceleration down in towards Museum. Yeah, just holding back. Everyone's holding back at this stage of the race.
He works on his exits, so he gets in the braking zone and he's already in like sort of alongside his rivals.
That asked him about Moto2. Do you even think about it at this stage?
No, absolutely.
You have those conversations?
No. But good question. But no, at this point, we know we're 22 rounds of a championship. We're at round 6. There's a long way to go.
And his seasons have faded from this point, haven't they? In his first 2 years. So he's had good starts to the season. He's got to just keep it rolling. But you're thinking, hey, no.
Do you know the reality of it? You don't even want to think about this year's championship. You've got to think about this weekend, then the next race. If you start thinking about the championship now, it can start to do your head in.
It looks like they're starting to brave that inside curve a little bit more.
Oh, right on the inside!
What a lovely move. Do you know what I'm talking about? Rueda. That's a class move. No contact. Didn't make anyone sit up. Wasn't a silly move.
Munoz does a silly move. Yeah.
Just with his strange grin on his face.
Maniacal ready. Right, Kelso, fastest lap of the race, so John out front, plugging away here, and as we said, has set so far this weekend the fastest lap with a 1:39.8, so Joel's no mug around here, and he's just pushing it on a little bit. Now he's had a bit of clear track at the front, and he's got that turn one right on a couple of occasions, so Mignon now back in front of Rueda.
Yeah, what he's got right, what Joel Kelso's been doing, he's not been risking a lot into turn 3, but he's built the confidence, he's built the temperature, and now where he was losing time there, it looks like he's almost gaining it. Like I said, he's a couple of moves off getting a nice little breakaway here.
He's always carried good corner speed as well, hasn't he?
Always.
Stefano Nepper's had a rotten weekend.
And that's why with Kelso, he sometimes loses out in the scraps at the end of the races because his riding style is more brake early, carry corner speed.
What is it for the MLAV riders at the moment?
So much bad luck.
Adrian Cruz has now
Been having a great
crashed
weekend.
out. He has, yeah. Looked good. And unfortunately, he's gone with LaChapelle.
Oh, that's a nasty
Sound of
one.
that one.
It's easy to lose the front on the way in. Let's hope it's that
Yeah.
as opposed to
Yeah, he's
outside on the way out.
Yeah, it looks like that's down towards at the bottom, really, rather than it being, on the exit.
Got a bit of a breakaway.
Oh, brilliant move on the inside line. That was coming
We've
from
got just a bit of a breakaway.
Alvaro
You can see it
Carpe.
in the corner.
on the inside line at S Blues.
Quiles there
On the
curbs. That makes me nervous, makes me think of the likes of Marc Marquez had one there, didn't they?
Well, again, so you got Calzo stretching the pace, set the fastest lap, but Munoz responded straight away.
Well, now
We're on proper lap times now.
that is the fastest race lap ever in a Moto3 race. So,
Okay, so track's dry.
I've been a bit circumspect early on, and who can blame them with the conditions as they are? It is a bit patchy out there, but Munoz starting to respond, and they're starting to feel it. They're getting to that halfway point of the race where they're thinking, right, it is okay, conditions are good, tyres are, working well. Let's get the move on.
And it's stretching the whole group. What was a big group with probably about 10 to 12 riders in, it's now sort of 5 riders and a bit of a break or a bit of a gap back to Fernandez.
Who I think does have the pace, actually. Piqueras has also come back to the front. He's up in 5th place.
Fernandez has dropped down 4 places.
Wide on the entry there.
Piqueras, I think, went really wide.
Yeah, he did.
Sharp.
He went up onto the curbs, didn't he? And you have to roll out of it then, don't you?
Yeah, he will have.
So,
Yeah, look, Piqueras has got back to it now. The group's 4.
and you think, though, Piqueras could help drag that second group.
Yellow
He's got
again.
speed.
Here we go then.
Piqueras
Calzo
gone down.
still leading them. Oh! Piqueras has gone down.
Oh, not
Maybe
Piqueras
trying to make
too.
it too quickly. Oh, that's a nasty one for Angel Piqueras. So, the rider second in the championship, who has scored points in every round so far, is not going to do so here.
No,
His first crash
mistake.
of the season. Piqueras has gone down on the deck, coming through the S Blues corner. The front just dipping away, and he actually landed on his bike as well. Not his bike landing on him, it definitely was the other way round. So now, Jose Antonio Rada leads by 20 points to Piqueras in the championship and Kelso to 25. Suddenly, Ruda having a few errors early on in this, a few errors last time out, has now cost him big time. Okay, so there is Piqueras then. Not any points left in this one, I'm afraid. Let's take a look how he did it. Yeah, lost it, and the bike flips over the opposite way. So the front dip, but the way it went round, and his legs took a whack into the bike as well. That was not a nice one. It was nearly a high side. It could have been a lot worse for Piqueras there. But that is so bad for the MSI team as well.
Crashed out of this race.
He's been having such a good season. What I like about Piqueras, he looks like he could ride on the limit without crashing. That's his first mistake, and it was literally just touching the curb. A little bit like Marc Marquez in America. If you touch the inside curbs, you can pay the price.
Just like that, isn't it?
Forasato's gone wide.
John Kelso, let's have a look at him down towards Garage Bear. He's been told that Piqueras is out. I don't think he cares at the moment because...
No. That seems a strange bit of information, Adam.
Yeah, he's going for a little bit of the inside curb, though. Is Kelso through turn 10. Really pushing on the pace, and actually he's done a personal best lap himself.
Yeah.
He's not done here. He's paced it nicely. Hopefully that means, for his sake, he's got some tyre in the latter stages.
Well, it looks smooth, yeah, and the fact that the lap times were pretty off the pace to start with because of track conditions, I don't think the tyres are going to be a massive issue.
Yeah, I think if there was going to be a cold tear or anything like that, might have already been a problem. Alvaro Carpe's dipped under the 141 barrier for the first time. So 140.8 from the second of the IO bikes. He's back in 5th place, but he's 1.7 off Kelso.
Yeah, you feel like Carpe's also got the pace to maybe bridge that gap. What that group behind needs now, that he could have to do a Munoz on Kelso just to slow the pack up.
Jakob Rosenthaler back there in 21st. Not quite sure what's happened here, but Rosenthaler riding at the back of the field. Kelso from Munoz and Rueda. That's your 1, 2, 3. Pini is 4th on the 94, but just look behind Alvaro Carpe, fastest lap of the race. He was 4/10 quicker than Kelso on that last lap, half a second quicker than Pini.
Yeah, he's bridging the gap. every sector is gaining another 10. We're looking at the man, he's your current junior world champion and the Red Bull rookie champion.
And will have been here with the rookies last year. He was 3rd and 5th in the race here in the rookies last time. Piqueras, the year before, won both of them. You know, they've all got form around this place. I think Guido Pini didn't race here, but had a second here in that race when Piqueras won. So, you know, they've all got a little bit of something to fall back on.
The surprise of the race, I'd have to say, was that is our pole man, because he was fast all weekend and he's currently sat in 10th place.
Can we give him a break? It's just his second race, though.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah. Already seems harsh, but I mean, in a way, it's a compliment that I'm disappointed he's in 10th, because he finished 5th in his first ever race in America. Then was really looking at the training and said, "Oh, it's going to get time between these lot."
So, I mean, I have to say for Munoz, he's sat in behind Kelso, hasn't he?
Which I've never seen before, ever. David Munoz.
Have they installed an earpiece from Peter Ertl?
Yeah, wait, not now. Wait, you can imagine every corner. No, down, boy, down. We are talking about the man in second, David Munoz. If you don't know, or you haven't watched in the past, he's the most aggressive rider I've ever seen. He's received quite a lot of penalties throughout his young Grand Prix career for overstepping the mark.
But you get on really well with Peter Ertl, his team manager, and yeah, you've had a few discussions with him about all the different tactics to try and get closer, because there is no doubting he has some of the rawest talent out there.
Raw talent, high skill level, incredible will to win. It's just sometimes he has red mist. That's as simple as that. We've seen it on too many occasions, but this is so far, I hope I'm not tempting fate, this is a class ride for Munoz.
But it's what we saw last year, isn't it, for Munoz? We had a lot of consistency from him.
We did.
Might have turned a corner, and now that he had a sniff of winning races, not quite worked out. You know who's impressing me? Keeler's here. Valentin Perrone in 6th place. Bear in mind, we've spoken to Hector Testuri, who used to be one of your mechanics, a couple of times back, and saying, yeah, look, his kid's got talent, but he's very wet behind the ears. Well, he's leading that chase pack with Almanza, Fernandez, Furasato and Cole, and Max Keeler's in it.
Tell you what, David Munoz there was in a position to pass, definitely, and he chose not to, which was absolutely the right thing to do. You look at the pace that Kelso just set his fastest lap, so the pace is hot. But Munoz realises there is no point in passing him. All I'm going to do is probably slow us both up, and then before you know it, a group of 4 soon becomes a group of 10.
Nothing to be gained, is there, at this stage of the race? And I feel like Kelso and Munoz as well, turning up the wick every single lap. He's getting a 10th quicker every lap, riding an excellent race. You just hope that there's something to come at the end of it for him.
Only 6.5 laps to go. It's soon gone, this race.
He's led races, hasn't he? Oh, there's been a crash behind. Is it Pini?
Pini's out!
Pini has gone out. I just saw it
dropped out.
Shot, a bike go, and Guido Pini. Oh, dear me, for Pini. The start of his season, there's been a lot of those from Thailand, Argentina, and now here in France. He had an 11th, 10th, 7th, was getting closer, but unfortunately, the young rookie has crashed out at Garage Vert.
Yeah, like you've said before, I've said it so many times, it's a very difficult corner, downhill. TV flattens it out, so you can't really appreciate the elevation as it goes downhill. Watch it, your man in 4th.
Oh, yeah, a couple of moments.
The exact point where the track drops away there, the camber falls away. It's a negative camber. Essentially, when you tip into there, you've got a certain amount of brake pressure. You have to release a bit of pressure. If you keep the same brake pressure, as the track falls away, you will literally just tuck the front.
Kelso again a 141.0, so Munoz a 141.0. Really consistent.
Again, Munoz, that is definitely David Munoz not attempting a pass.
Yeah.
He does like riding closer.
Really close on the rear wheel.
I've said this before as well. He reminds me of Noriyuki Haga. Haga was exactly the same back in the day in the superbikes.
Just not as sideways as Norrie was.
No, not quite.
He was great, wasn't he, to watch? And the character to boot. Yeah. Away from the track as well as on it.
You didn't want on your pit board +0 Haga on the last lap.
Well, you and Haga all shouts, didn't you, at the time? You didn't want either of them in that
I still have nightmares about them both. Or Walker. Hayden when we were talking about it. The James Hayden. If he was behind you on the last lap, you knew he was coming through.
Right, on board we are with Joel Kelso, who's ridden a superb race, the Aussie. But Munoz is there in attendance. Rueda's just in a personal best lap, trying to hang on, really, to the pace that Joel is imposing on this race. It's a slight gap then back to Carpe, and then it's Perrone, 3 seconds back, in 5th in that group. I will say Scott Ogden and Cormac Buchanan are 11th and 12th and have a similar pace to all that group, so it could be, for the Brit, for the Kiwi, some good results coming in today. Encouraging as well, as in morale boosting.
Of course it is. Proper step in the right direction. I hope I'm not tempting fate, but Joel Kelso has not put a wheel wrong.
But you are tempting fate.
To this point. He's been immaculately smooth, loads of corner speed.
But is Munoz going to have a go here?
Early on in the race, this part of the track.
Here we go then, he's done with Mignon on this occasion.
I can hear Peter Hurtle going, no, wait, hold soon.
He's holding.
Rueda personal best lap again, Neil, and so the gap's still at 0.3. Actually, that's the first lap, Kelso and Mignon. Pace has just ebbed ever so slightly.
Rueda's in this too.
On that lap.
Yeah, lost a couple of tenths. It's not a lot, but is it a sign? Oh, a bit of a movement.
Twitch there.
Yeah, a bit of a twitch there.
Keras. It's not into his day, but he'll be back. Race is not run. The day is not done in the championship anyway for Angel Piqueras. A long, long way to go, as you mentioned earlier, absolutely rightly. It's a 22 race season. Yeah. We're only at round 6.
I thought that earlier we put the display of the calendar on, and I looked and thought, wow, a fair few races to go and quite a bit of travel.
Yeah, and still, I mean, you think back, Qatar feels like years ago. It's only a month ago.
Yeah, Thailand feels like about 2 years ago, isn't it? The round 1.
Weird how this weekend's
on that
making
previous
go.
lap was Rueda in 3rd, the championship leader, who, it's fair to say, Neil, hasn't had the best of weekends, but has gone about race lap business.
Yeah, this is a championship winning weekend when it's not been going well. He's been struggling in all sessions, really. He's never been inside the top 3, but on race day, he's been calm. Like I said, all the passes he's made in this race have been very clinical. And he's in a really strong position now. The only downside to leading the whole race in the Joel Kelso is you've no information of where you're fast. If you're Munoz, if you're Rueda now, you know exactly the parts of the track that you feel comfortable, where you think you can make a pass.
No. Not yet for Munoz.
It can be a bit nerve-wracking now. Joel Kelso's never won a race. There's 3.5 laps to go. The anxiety levels, you start to think, is this it? Is this the one? Could I do it?
And now Munoz, the way Rueda was almost alongside him there, put the front wheel to one side, as if also to say to David Munoz, I'm here too. He will know now.
Rueda's going to be right there.
Again, Kelso 41.2 on that lap, and again Rueda 2 tenths quicker. Are we at the stage of the race where Kelso doesn't quite have the tyre left, even though, you know, it was in those early stages of the race, the pace was steady. I hope not. I hope that he's got something to battle with as they go through Garage Fair. 3.5 laps remaining in this French Grand Prix. It's a 3-way battle for victory. Carpe's just dropped back ever so slightly. It's Rueda who looks the strongest at the moment, but he has 2 tough nuts to crack in front of him. 2 riders who have not won a Grand Prix before.
No, that's so true. You know David Munoz is going to absolutely going to have a go. He's going to send it.
Here we go with Rueda.
Rueda, too far early on the inside.
He's got that in his pocket. Rueda's looking the most impatient out of the lot.
Now, Munoz, having seen that Rueda is ready to move, does he now make the move up to the chicane? We'll find out, won't we? 3 laps to go.
3 to go, and this is going to be the opportunity. So Kelso would have seen that too. He's going to, Munoz pulls to the inside line. And Kelso blocks him off into turn 2 through the chicane. Not the go time yet. Rueda didn't even go. I think Rueda was just trying to put the frighteners on Munoz as well, but he's looking to the inside, down on the inside of La Chapelle. Munoz late on the brakes, riding down, just gave him enough room. Out, down towards Museum. This is going to run and run and run. I think this will be a last lap shootout, personally. I can't see how it wouldn't differentiate to a last lap. Kelso is riding for his first ever Moto3 win. Moreida's already got the championship lead. He'll know that the 36 crashed out of Piqueras, so the gap for him stands at 20 points in the World Championship. Is he really going to risk it all this soon? Let Munoz and Kelso battle it out. Think bigger picture for a World Championship. But Moreida doesn't think like that. It's a sensible thing I would do. But that's why I'm not a racer and a commentator, because Moreida sends it up the inside of the S-Blues corner on Munoz. Munoz trying to come around the outside. Not going to work out. We go down with 2 to go into Rakudamon. Munoz back to the inside line. Moreida doesn't know he's there. Moreida nearly goes down. Moreida's really got to think about the championship here. He can't afford to let this massive points gap escape him. Such a bizarre move, and that's spread the field. That let Kelso have an advantage.
Remaining couple of laps of this French Grand Prix in Moto3. Kelso surely has enough of a gap up towards the chicane on this occasion, but knows behind him he has got 2 hard chargers. Well, he's got 1 hard charger.
Yeah, he's got 1 hard charger and a real clinical rider.
Further back down through the order, personal best lap times for Almanza in 5th, Murasato in 6th. They're all battling for the remaining positions. Scott Ogden actually in the 11th as well at this moment. Personal bests coming in. Kelso carrying corner speed.
Exactly, that's sweet in line, but it works for him. He gets really good exit speed, so it makes him difficult to pass in these tricky parts of the track like this and Garage Fair.
Gets out the corner well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Gets a nice little punch out of there. Here we go. Munoz has looked strong here, and he's got a Linktree.
I think this is going to be the first pass.
Munoz looks to the inside line then. Into the S-Split. No, he's backed out of it. He backed out. It's not yet the time to go. Kelso will have that advantage. It's the damp part still on the circuit from the exterior, but they're still in dry conditions. The top 3 running together now. So it will be a 1-lap shootout to decide who will take this victory. Moreida on the inside of Munoz. Oh, beautiful move from Moreida. Fantastic manoeuvre. Really sends it up the inside, but Munoz going to send it back. That's going to let Kelso go on the last lap. Moreida trying to jump. Might have just given Kelso the advantage. Final lap then of the French Grand Prix for Moto3 here at Le Mans. Is Joel Kelso on course for his first ever race win? Moreida looks to the inside line at 1, not going to work out. Trail braking into turn 2 and 3. Munoz now right back up with Kelso. He's taken a lot of risks trying to do that. It might just work out. Perez has dropped down into 10th position, into La Chapelle once more. Kelso leading in front. The downhill right-hander. Straighten up and head down to the left-hander at Museum. Munoz got him really on the back of Kelso. So Kelso not riding as hard as we thought he might do. So this might be the advantage that we were looking for. Can the Australian win his first Moto3 race? Into the braking zone now at Garage Fier. Munoz right behind him. Moreida there too in 3rd position. Ross has been given a track limits warning. Don't forget you can't cut the track limits on the last lap. Stewards might deem it as a penalty. Down to the S-Blues. Kelso needs to go defensive here. Munoz is going to try and trail break in. Not going to work out. Munoz is going to have to do this at Rakudamon. That's the only place left. Kelso goes wide. Moreida's in there too. Munoz to the inside line. Kelso breaks late. He keeps ahead. It's only going to be Rakudamon. Munoz trying to get the comeback. Kelso's defending like crazy, but Munoz gets a better exit. So does Moreida. It's 3 into 1. Going into the inside. Munoz takes the inside line. He hits out Kelso. And through goes Moreida. Moreida's going to win the French Grand Prix over the line. And Kelso can't believe it. Moreida wins the French Grand Prix. What on earth was that for Munoz? Forcing Kelso off the track. And Kelso misses out by being forced on by Munoz. Jose Antonio Moreida wins the French Grand Prix and with it extends his championship lead to 29 points. Wow! Bet you didn't see that one coming. Moreida wins. Munoz surely will get a penalty for that. Kelso will finish in 2nd. There's nothing that Moreida can do. He followed the rules. So Munoz on the inside, it's under investigation. Munoz goes for the move. He hits Kelso out of the way, and Rueda just goes through the pair of them. Rueda won't get a penalty because he's done everything right. Rueda is the winner. Kelso will not be second. Munoz has been dropped to position. Kelso is second. Munoz third, apparently. Is that it? Hey, yeah, Munoz to drop one position for irresponsible riding. It's changed on the monitor. So Kelso finishes second, Munoz third, but Rueda wins the race. Wow. I'm not sure I agree with that, but there's nothing Rueda could have done. Because he does not deserve anything. He's done the race fairly. I really feel for Joel Kelso, and David Munoz, I think he's going to be hunted down in the paddock by Kelso after this one. We'll see what they're going to say. We'll stay with pictures because we've got a little bit of time. We were supposed to go off, but we've got some time before the first race of the day for the British Touring Car Championship as well. So we will have Moto3 is going to be taken with the world feed, just to let you know ahead of time. So that is going to be the situation there. And MotoGP, myself and Megan will be in the commentary box for that one. Wow, Kelso second. So this is your final results then from this point. It's Jose Antonio Rueda from Joel Kelso, David Munoz, along with Alvaro Carpe, David Almanza, Tayo Forasato, Maximo Correas, and Adrian Fernandez, Luca Lanetta, Valentin Peroni, the top 10. Then it's Foggia, Ogden, Rulestone, Buchan, alongside Caro, the last of the points scoring positions. Perez, Pini, after crashing out down 17th. Rossi, Borarasi, Deltwiller, and Rosenteller in 21st. Paqueras, Cruces, Nepa, O'Shea, Yamanaka, all out of the race. Well, that is going to be quite fascinating to see what's going to happen, and we will go back to TNT to hear the interviews and see what's happening in Parc Fermé. We will disappear, however, before the podium so that we can get set up ready for the Moto2 race and us taking over the British Touring Car Championships race coverage from JT. Don't know about you, but suffering with a bit of a sore throat after the last few days. So let's see how it works, hey? Throughout the weekend. Championship now goes the way of Jose Antonio Rueda by 29 points to Angel Paqueras. Paqueras crashing out for the first time this season as well. Not exactly what we were expecting to happen. We were all thinking something different would play into the key factors, but that's the way it crumbles sometimes. Right, let's go over to the world feed and rejoin TNT Sports, ready to hear from what happens in Parc Fermé. I'm expecting Kelso to be very, very angry. If I was him, I know I would be. Let's head down to the world feed.
Welcome back to Le Mans, where we've had our first Grand Prix of the morning. It's the Grand Prix of France in Moto3. While we were on the break, we just got information from the stewards. They were demoting David Munoz one position down to third place. So John Kelso will take second after all in the race, but still Jose Antonio Rueda takes victory. Alvaro Carpe came home in fourth place, and fair play to him for sticking in that one. Set some good laps in the middle of the race to do it. But Rueda takes the victory. His teammate Neil, and I have to say, looking at the lap time on that last lap, a 1:40.9 from Jose Antonio. That's seriously impressive.
Yeah, incredible. Didn't you feel that though throughout the race? I'm thinking Rueda's going to win this. I felt it. You could just feel it coming. It was coming, and basically what I thought was going to happen, it literally was exactly. I feel like I'd already seen this race. I sort of knew that Munoz was going to lunge into the last corner.
Well, yeah, he's going to do it at some point, wasn't he? I thought he actually.
But what you do, you have to take away that opportunity, and how you do that is go super defensive. As we know, on some last corners, if you go way too defensive, it really affects your run out of the corner. But not at this track, because the finish line is essentially just out of the last corner.
What's your opinion on when you're being demoted one position for that contact?
Yeah, it's a weird one, because this is Grand Prix racing. It's a last lap, last corner to win your first race. The door was open. There was room. look, it's a late move, but this is Grand Prix racing. I've got to say, I don't think he should have been demoted a place. Don't get me wrong, if he'd have pulled that move on me, I'd have felt really hard done by, but I'd have learned from it because I'd watched the race back and think to myself, well, I've half invited it.
Do you think reputation has preceded it a little bit there?
I think that could be a lot of it.
Let's hear what David Munoz has to say about it.
David, third in the end after an incredible last lap battle. Just talk us through, from your opinion, that final corner.
Yeah, maybe I pushed in the last lap and I pushed to Kelso in the last corner, but it not enough. But well, good race for me, and thank you to the team for the hard working during the weekend, and go to Silverstone.
A great ride, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done to David. I'm not quite sure what he made of that last corner. We'll have to catch up with him in Spanish later on today. But this was the move again. And Kelso's right, opening up the door.
Kelso's on the actual full race line. He's not even gone 20%, 10% defensive.
There is the question, isn't there, then? Would he have made the corner without the contact, that sort of thing? Would he have then run wide? Kelso clearly doesn't want to shake hands too much with as you wouldn't.
Yeah, as you wouldn't.
Interesting to hear what he's got to say down there to Jack Appleyard. I can see Joel just at the edge of Parc Fermé now. There he is.
Joel, I imagine heartbreak after that one, dominated the race, leading it almost from start to finish. Just how disappointing is it to miss out like that at the final corner?
Honestly, mate, I have no words about what happened at the last corner, but anyways, let's not speak about that. Let's speak about the positive, that we did a perfect race. We were first the whole race, and we made a couple mistakes. We fixed them up, and all of a sudden improved half a second. Had pretty decent pace with the conditions like this, and I'm just really happy that we're really, really strong in no matter what happens in any situation. So yeah, I'm just going to look at the positive, because I don't have anything else to say about the last corner.
A great performance, well done.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, well done to Joel Kelso, third podium of the season. I mean, 4 top 4s in a row. He is in the mix, he is there. But what would you be saying to him when he reviews that race later on with his team?
At this point, I'd be giving him hugs and praising him. The serious chat would come tomorrow. I'd say, let's talk about it. We'll look back at it. You know, he dealt with that interview really well. There were so many positives. Just one little area he needs to learn from, and he will do. He's an intelligent lad.
Led from lap 1 to the final corner. It wasn't to be, because this man came through the open door to take his 4th win of the season.
Jose Antonio, what a way to win a Grand Prix. I bet you couldn't believe your luck when the 2 in front went wide at the final corner, and it feels like a big one for the World Championship as well. Now a nice, comfortable margin.
Yeah, I'm very happy to the weekend, also with the work with the team and all. I'm very happy because we work a lot for today. And yeah, today I enjoy a lot and can race like I want, and I can manage the race and final lap. You know, in Moto3 every corner, every last lap is crazy, and I push and I can and get the first position. I'm very happy, and yes, let's keep working.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, the riders then, as expected, a little bit tight-lipped about what happened on that final corner. David Munoz obviously getting demoted by a place. Neil saying it was a little bit harsh. Guys, firstly, your opinion on that?
Well, I think the door was open, so you know, Munoz did go for it as you would in a last corner, last lap maneuver. It was just, yeah, I mean, he had to come in hard there, and the contact happened. I think the penalty for me is justified just in the fact that because they both run wide, and would he really have made the corner if Kelso wasn't there? Probably not. So yeah, I think on that one that's probably the right call. But yeah, for me this is just Joel Kelso that's lost that race. He did everything perfect, but that last move, you know, you've got to cover. When you come into Racordement, it's the last lap. You've got to go in the middle of the track. Nobody's going to overtake you in the inside. Nobody can pass on the outside. You do basically the roadblock and this is how you win that race. We've seen it a couple of years ago with Sasaki that got overtaken as well, leaving the door open. So yeah, it's just unfortunate for Joe Kelso because I had a really good feeling for him. I felt like that could be his race, and he did do everything perfect until that moment.
Michael Sylvan then says it's kind of justified because they both ran wide. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you can see why Simon Crafar has chosen to demote David Munoz because, well, there is an argument to say he may have stayed on the track if he hadn't made contact, but because he took both of them off the track, they've both gone over the green paint, and he was the one who created that contact. So you have to demote him in position if you're going to have continuity in applying the rules. But I agree with Sylvan. The door was open, so David Munoz wasn't ultra dirty today. The last corner, you got to go for it, and he went up the inside. You could see Joel, his tactic was to go as fast as possible, run the racing line, and it didn't quite work out. He needed to do like Sylvan said, hang out on the exit of the left-hander coming up the Blue S, and just make the rider think twice and then have to go to the left side, then you can protect it. But yeah, but not the right strategy for Kelso today, but yeah, it was an exciting last lap.
Yeah, massive learning curve for sure when he comes back to Le Mans in the future. Well, the podium is getting underway right now, so let's go back to Gav to enjoy it.
Yeah, David Munoz in third place. Controversial end to the race. We'll speak to John Kelso about that on into the future, I'm sure, about his thoughts on it. Stewards have their opinions. And again, it's one of those, it's a tricky call, a really tricky call to make right on the last lap. There's Antonio Ruedas. Why does he though? Because he gets to stand on the top step once more. So the IO team celebrates again their 4th victory of the season. In doing so, it extends Rueda's championship lead. Remember, Angel Piqueras crashed out. So now 29 gap between them. It's a long season though, long way to go. David Munoz, first podium of the season, first big points really for him. He had 6th in Qatar, but DNFs across all the other races. So right with his head, I have to say, today, until that final corner when I think people would be disappointed if he didn't have a go, but he did run them both off track, and that's why Kelso promoted to second. At least he deserved that. To a brilliant ride from turn 1 until turn 14 on the very last lap. He'll be gutted about it, but showing consistent pace. Sebastian Poirier from the FIM will hand over the trophy to our race winner and championship leader for the 4th time this year. Rueda holds the trophy aloft on the top step, extends his championship lead. He's had 2 gifts today with the crash of Piqueras and the move in front of him that gifted him the win, and he's gratefully accepted it.
Interesting end to the Moto3 race. Next up, it is Moto2, and that will be live with the TNT World feed. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.